What's up, everyone? In today's episode, I'm going to break down all of my trades from the morning. I'm sitting in the green, up just over $10,000 on the day. But I would say today was a colder day. However, we're still in a hotter market. So how does that work? Well, I asked myself over the last couple weeks, how has the market been generally? And it's been hot. I've been having some really nice big green days. But today was a cold day within a hot market. And the cause essentially was that we didn't have any really strong catalysts, which was the same problem as yesterday. Now we have to bear in mind that we've got Memorial Day on Monday. So we've got a market holiday. So is it maybe the case that companies are not putting out really great news before Memorial Day? Maybe. They don't want the news to get forgotten over the long weekend. That's possible. So I don't know exactly why we're seeing the sort of colder market yesterday and today, or why there's just fewer good headlines, but that's a fact. There are fewer really strong headlines in these last two sessions, and that's resulted in less opportunities. So I've kind of felt like, the big picture is that the market is hot, and so if we have a stock that has a really good headline, we'll likely see a big move. I just have to be patient. So today I was able to grind my way up to the daily goal, 2 times the daily goal on these smaller winners. But I did get myself a little frustrated, and that was on KDLY. KDLY right now is showing a 100,000 share seller at 31. Okay, so this stock squeezed up here, and you know what? I wasn't sure I really wanted to trade it, but I did break the ice on it pre-market and took my first trade right here at 38.50. Micro pullback. Do you see that? Little micro pullback right there and another micro pullback right there. And those were decent trades. I made $3,000 on it. So wasn't trading with big size, but was able to make a little bit of money. It pulls back, and then going into the open right here, it squeezes up, it dips down. And as it squeezed up right here, I got in for this little micro pullback, and I gave back $1,000. Then it comes back up, I got back in, and I made back the 1,000 I lost. And then I got in right here for the break of 34 and jackknife, and I lost like $4,000. So I went from green on KDLY to red. And this highlights the problem that I always have with trading these higher priced stocks. You get big candles. Look at that whip from 34.77 to 31.50. These are really big moves. And even with just 1,000 shares, you're talking about potentially making or losing thousands of dollars in one candle. So this is always the challenge with higher price stocks. Higher price, bigger spreads, less liquidity. So for small account traders, it's hard to afford a position. And for big account traders, it's hard to manage risk. So it kind of is not good for anyone in a way. However, you do have short sellers who accumulate short positions thinking that the company, back here and went on the days it was popping up here was going to roll over back down to 4. So now all of a sudden on light volume, it's shooting higher. And if they're forced to cover a 20, 30, 50,000 share position, that's going to be really hard to do at this price with these kind of spreads. And that's where you can get a short squeeze. So that's what I was kind of looking for and hoping for, but it just didn't happen. So KDLY is a stock that got me frustrated, going green on it, then giving back profit, then making it back, then giving it back, and going all the way to red on the name. So that was how I ended the day. I don't like ending the day on a loser, but I peaked at about 15,000 on the day, and I gave back a third of it. Well, maybe not quite a third, but close enough. So I'm going to sit at $10,934.34, which is more than 2 times the $5,000 daily goal, and I'll be grateful for that. Now, I have been trying to maintain higher daily averages this month. The market has been hot. I still have the goal of $5 million this year, and in order to do that, I need to be hitting $20,000 per day average. But here's the thing. I know there's going to be days this year, like today, and there'll certainly be more days like it, where I can't hit that $20,000 daily goal. Daily kind of, $5,000 is the goal. That's sort of my minimum threshold, but this optimistic target of a $5 million a year requires me to be doing 20,000 a day. So obviously today I came up short, but pushing it, and I pushed it a little bit, trading past the open on a higher price stock, clearly didn't pay off. So, the right thing for me to do is to kind of cool off. But, having said that, I have been trying to step up a little bit this month so that during the hot market, when we're getting some really nice volatility, I can kind of stack up as much profit as I can, knowing that it will have to tide me over during these inevitable slower days like today. So the first stock I traded this morning was XAGE. XAGE. So this is a stock that popped up after hours, and it gives a little squeeze after hours and more or less goes sideways. There was an ascending support trend line. At 4 a.m. it sells off, then it pops up, it pulls back, and at 7, I got in, 7 was right here. I got in right here for this squeeze, but I knew that we had this issue of ascending resistance. On that trade right there, I made about $5,000 with a 20,000 share position. So pretty much got in, made about 25 cents per share, and got out. It was a quick little trade as it squeezed up right here at 7 a.m. and it went from 520 to about 620, which was a pretty nice move, but I got in a little higher and scaled out as I had some profit. So a little trade on this one, was hoping maybe it would hold over ascending resistance and then be support for the next leg up, but it wasn't able to do that. That was unfortunate. So that was XAGE, first trade of the day in the green. All right, so that was good. Second trade of the day, BDRX. So BDRX was at 8:30. So it didn't trade for an hour and a half, and then BDRX pops up. Now, when it first popped up on the 1-minute chart, we had a topping tail. Second 1-minute chart, second 1-minute candle, we now have a tweezer top. Third one, now we've got a fork. Okay, so you've got the 3 tops in a row. And at this point, I was like, well, we kind of have a flat top. If it can break this level, and that's a big if, then I like it, but there's a possibility of it breaking and then reversing. So it ends up breaking, and I got a little trade there, and it squeezes up, pulls back for a second, and then I take another trade on the break of 2, and then right there we get the break of 210, and we get a squeeze up to 240. So there were a few trades that I got on this one, and then as we got closer to the open, it's kind of fading and unwinding, but was able to make $6,200. So trades here, and then a nice trade there, and this little curl right here. So got a couple of little trades there, trading while the MACD was open, right? That's important. Then after BDRX, the next stock I traded was, let's see, KDLY. So then I went to KDLY, where my first trade was on this break of 27.28 down here. Made some money on that, but then gave some back, so found it to be difficult sort of from the beginning, which was annoying, but it is what it is. And there's another drop on KDLY right there. So when this thing drops, it is not fun. And then we had BON, B-O-N, that hit the scanners. So Chinese company puts out some news. I don't know, it doesn't feel super substantial, but in any case, it starts to squeeze. So broke the ice on BON with a trade right up in this area as it curls up towards 2. And then at the open, it broke 2. I did not take that trade at the open. Kind of wish I'd focused on that instead of KDLY. This was a better price range. But anyways, I was caught up with KDLY because of what I thought would be a potential short squeeze. So made $1,100 on BON, and then had a quick little trade on SYTA at the open, which was a $66 loss. That was right here on this micro pullback, so that didn't work. And then went from green to red on KDLY. And that wrapped up the day. So I just kind of said, you know what? I feel like I'm moving in the wrong direction. This is a little frustrating. And just the very fact that I'm feeling frustrated is the indicator to step back, walk away before I start trading out of frustration and then giving back more profit. So I'd much rather be sitting here with 10,000. You know, look, I gave back some profit, and every day you do one of two things. You leave money on the table, you give back profit. Today I gave back a little profit. You know, it is what it is. But I'm still walking away with 2x daily goal in my pocket. Now, if someone else made 2x their daily goal and stopped right there, they'd actually probably feel a lot better than I do right now. I went to 3x and then came back down to 2x. We're both sitting in the same place, but we have different perspective on it. Why can't I be grateful for what I have? You got to look at the glass as half full. In this case, it's 2/3 full and life is good. Now, for those of you guys who have not already checked out our Memorial Day sales, come on over to Warrior Trading. We've got specials on our Warrior Starter and our Warrior Pro Bundle. The Warrior Pro Bundle includes a 7-day money-back guarantee, which is great. And it'll give you access to Day Trade Dash, this software that I use right here for scanning, charting, news. It'll give you access to my live audio-video broadcast, and we'll give you access to a trading simulator so you can practice the new strategies you're learning in a safe environment. Because let me be the first to tell you, trading is risky. So I want you guys to take it slow and always practice in a sim. I'm going to put links to a couple other full-length training episodes right here that I have on YouTube that I think you guys will enjoy. And as always, if you get value out of these episodes, I hope you subscribe to the channel and I hope you hit the thumbs up. Thank you guys, and I'll see you back at it first thing tomorrow morning.